What's up, fight fans? Look at this. Naoya Inoue. What up? If you see this motherfucking mask pull up, you know you in trouble. That's a hit, right? Yo, where my Inoue fans at? Yo, this shit is killing them. Be pulling up like, yeah. Eh, with a motherfucking German hat on. They both killers. Summarizing them germs, bro. Man, listen. Yo, let's get right into this episode. What's up, guys? Hold up. Damn, I got this shit mad loud. What the fuck? Hold up a second. All right. Man, that shit was loud as shit. Anyway, on my end, it was. Yeah, let me hit this. I5 fans, man, listen, we got a lot to talk about here. You know, this has got to be one of the biggest fights of when we talk about big fights. You know, Saul Canelo Alvarez and Terrence Crawford are about to headline their main event right now. And there's a lot of things back and forth about ticket sales. You know how Americans are, right? They drag their feet trying to get the best prices at the end when they lower the prices because it ain't sold out. The day of the fight, it sells out. It's all like, fight fans have seen this before. And with the tickets being so expensive for that fight in Las Vegas, we'll see. But I believe it's going to sell out. But one of the biggest fights that is rumored to be talked about of the fight of the century when we talk about big fights is 100% Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. Now, Naoya Inoue has made himself Japan's best fighter by far, right? And Junto is on his heels. He's like right there. I mean, Junto Nakatani right now is boasting a record of 31 and 24 knockouts, 31 fights with 24 knockouts. He's undefeated. And he just unified his in his last fight a world title. So he did unify at the 118 pounds, right? When he fought Nishida, right? Ryuski. I don't want to I'm messing up his name. I'm really killing it here, right? But the fight would stop in the 6th round. I believe that he had suffered a cut and he dislocated his shoulder in the fight. So Junto goes on to win the fight. And he said publicly, he said he couldn't get none of the other champions in the ring with him. Now, once upon a time, during an award ceremony, Naoya Inoue took an opportunity to challenge right there in the moment Junto Nakatani. You see, because in this on this night, Japan was honoring their fighters. They were honoring them for the fighters that they are and the achievements they have done throughout the year. At one point in time, Japan was on a roll. And when I mean on a roll, Japan, all 4 bantamweight divisions at one point in time, they were all champions by Japan. All the belts were held by Japan at that time. Yes. And as we can see, many Japanese fighters have Japan has produced many world champions of late. It's been so competitive in Japan that we recently just lost a fighter, a Japanese fighter, another Japanese fighter. If you're not informed or you're not aware, the first one to pass away was on a Naoya Inoue undercard. And that young man passed away from his injuries suffered in the ring. What was at stake on that line on that night? The Naoya Inoue trophy and $100,000 bonus. That's what was on the line. And people are saying, what's happening to these fighters in Japan? Why are they dying. Like what, like is something going on? No. You know what that's called? Competition. Wanting to be the next Naoya Inoue. Wanting to be the next Junto Nakatani. And these Japan dudes are willing to fight to the death. They will punch each other's brains out. That's all that is. That's real competition. Don't want to step back, take a step backwards. It's in their culture, you know? And when we talk about like, you know, who is the best for Japan? My opinion, hands down, Naoya Inoue. I believe that Junto Nakatani is a very worthy opponent. I believe he could be Japan's next best thing, maybe, because there's some other Japan fighters that are coming up. Boy, I tell you. What's up, James? Salute, brother. Crypto, what's up? And Puerto Rican flag, fist pump emoji, boxing emoji, fire 100%. All right. So, like like I was saying, you know, see, this is where Naoya in a way finds himself today, right? By the way, right? Uh Junto, like I was just alluding to, that he did unify. He did unify. And I believe that that's Junto's third weight division. He has a belt in three weight divisions. So Junto is on the coattails of trying to be the next Japanese superstar. Understand? Right. So he's rumored right now to go up. As a matter of fact, I could put up the article that they were writing, or I could just read it. I could just read the article to you guys about what they were saying in regards to Naoya Inoue versus Junto Nakatani. Now, Naoya Inoue is undefeated Japanese champion. He's unified all four belts in two separate weight divisions. He is currently 30 and 27. He has 30 fights and 27 big ways by knockout. He's currently riding, I believe, on an 11 fight knockout streak. Entering this fight right here, he will break Terrence Crawford's record for the most knockout streak in world title fights in this era right here. He will also pass Saul Canelo Alvarez on the night that he enters the ring if he is victorious against MJ. And if he's to beat MJ, he would have the most defenses on four belts at that time. Well, technically, if Saul beats Terrence Crawford, he would go up. Then Naoya Inoue would fight MJ, and they would be tied again. Yeah. So Saul has to win. But if Saul loses and Naoya wins, Naoya passes him like that. Then Naoya, I believe he's still coming into his 25th consecutive world title fight, right? So there's a lot when Naoya Inoue fights, there's a lot of records being set on the pace that he's on. Okay. So what's Naoya Inoue's options at this point right here? Right? Okay. We just saw Nick Ball fight against Sam Goodman. And by a narrow decision, I believe Nick Ball once again keeps his belt. I believe if TJ Doheny, if his body would have held up a little bit better, Nick Ball was in trouble. Okay? Two opponents that may have wanted to fight Naoya Inoue. One of them did. The other one found the way out. Sam Goodman. I don't think Sam Goodman would have lasted with Naoya Inoue. He wouldn't have seen that final bell. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure he would have made it to the middle part of the rounds. Okay? I think Naoya Inoue would have definitely picked Sam Goodman apart. For everybody saying that, I don't know, Nick Ball is supposed to be this wrecking force. I beg to differ. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm going to stand on this 10 toes down, right? I think Naoya Inoue stops Nick Ball early. early. And speaking of these kind of fights, Naoya Inoue has a potential fight with to move up in weight to fight Nick Ball at 126, right? Okay, cool. Right? Then you got Junto coming out up the back door from 118, hopping into 122, wanting to scrap too. Now, if you think about what's taking place here, Naoya Inoue is about to fight two of his toughest fights in his career at the tail end of his career. He ain't picking no tomato cans. He ain't ducking no one. And he's currently signed to fight MJ right now. The guy that a lot of people tried to say Naoya Inoue was avoiding. And that he didn't want to give him his shot. MJ was reported of taking step-aside money to allow Naoya Inoue to fight with Romar Cardenas. Right? He took the money. He took the money. He didn't want the legacy. He took the money. He said, let me get 2 paydays. Because obviously, it wasn't because you thought you can win. Because had you thought you can win, where would you be right now, MJ? Don't take the step aside money fight. Be the one to fight him in Las Vegas. If you would have beat him, you would be fighting a rematch for triple the amount of money right now. So don't try to tell me that he did the smart thing by taking 2 small paydays. If you really thought you could beat Naoya Inoue and that he was ducking you, MJ, you should have never took that step aside money. You should have pushed your mandatory, beat him, and then right now, this fight right here, you would have disrailed Naoya Inoue's future plans. There would be no Nakatani fight. It'd probably be with you, all right? And you would be holding all the cards. And that bag that you're getting paid right now would be triple the amount. So taking that step aside money was bullshit. It showed me you're just trying to take the most money. Because neither you and Ed Hearn and everybody in the fucking planet knows you ain't going to win this fight. You ain't winning against Naoya Inoue. And you know what you did? The worst thing you probably could have did? You antagonized him. You accused him of avoiding you. Nick Ball got heart. I respect that little. Yeah, yo, listen. I never said he didn't have heart. He is a warrior, Nick Ball. But I'm not going to give you points for doing your job at a high level. That's how you separate yourself from other boxers. Nick Ball is not in the position that he's in because he can't fight. He's whooping everybody else's ass. Even Raymond Ford, all of them. And every fighter that Nick Ball fights, they're all bigger than him. They're all bigger than him. They go into the fight saying, I'm going to beat this little dude up. And Nick Ball, you know what he does? He out-toughs these guys. That's what he does. And he punches a little hard, but he's a tough little dude. He can take an ass whooping and keep going. He most of the time, he's overwhelming his opponent. That's not Naoya Inoue. It never has been, and it never will be. Naoya Inoue deals with pressure exceptionally well. Naoya Inoue knows how to be in the right position. He knows angles. He knows distance. Not all these fighters Nick Ball fought understand all the things Naoya Inoue. He has never been in the ring with a like of a fighter as such as Naoya Inoue. All the fighters that he fought, listen, TJ Doheny had to give up because of his back. Had it not been for he kicked TJ Doheny in the fight. TJ Doheny had Nick Ball so frustrated. Right? And I'm going to tell you right now, who on God's green earth ever thought Sam Goodman would give Naoya Inoue a fight? He took Nick Ball the distance. Nick Ball could not knock out Sam Goodman. Sam Goodman smashed his face against a wall not once, but twice to avoid fighting Naoya Inoue. And why do you think he did that? Why do you think he did that? Brother, because if you're going to suffer your first loss, at least have it a little competitive. He really thought he could beat Nick Ball. And his team believed he could beat Nick Ball. Going into the Naoya Inoue fight, no one on the planet, not his team, not his coach, not his mama, thought he was going to make it out the final bell with Naoya Inoue to the 12th round. Wasn't going to happen. Now he's too skilled. He's way too skilled, bro. Yo, I'm going to tell you right now, Nick Ball is not tougher than Marlon Tapales. Marlon Tapales is a tough dude, bro. A tough dude, and he can fight. Marlon Tapales is real crafty. Yo, he places his punches like good. That's how he beat MJ. MJ, you know, he was real skilled. I don't think he's better than MJ. MJ, yo, listen, MJ became a world champion mad early in his career. Mad early, under 10 fights. And Marlon Tapales spanked him. Nick Ball is good because he has a lot of pressure and he out-toughs a lot of his guys, right? But not one of those dudes that he ever beat, that I ever sat back and said, you know what? That guy right there is on the level of Naoya Inoue, definitely. And I think that Nick Ball can beat him. No, and Nick Ball's last two fights told me right there when he fought TJ Doheny and Sam Goodman, and he could, bro, I was like, hell no. You might as well just hand that belt over. Paul Butler? Paul Butler is a better fighter than Nick. Man, listen. Yo, skill-wise, Paul Butler, but I don't know if toughness. I think Nick Ball might be more tougher. Nick Ball is a little tough bastard, bro. That's what he can take a shot. He's got a good fucking chin too. And he can fight. He'll fight you. He won't shy away. And that's what's gonna get him in trouble against Naoya Inoue. That toughness that Nick Ball has is gonna betray him. And that's what I'm counting on. I know it because Nick Ball is not gonna want to go backwards. He's gonna want to go forward. Bro, go look at Naoya Inoue's fucking, I was going to say his highlights of knockouts, but his entire career, that's all it is. It's just a murderous row of knockouts of everybody they said he was not going to knock out. Like, how many fighters that Naoya Inoue knocked out that before going in the ring, they have never even been dropped in a fight? Who was Omar Narvaez and fucking Armando? Look, Omar Narvaez had a record of like 34 fights. He had one loss. And when he lost that fight, he went 12 rounds with Donito Donaire. He'd never been put down in his fucking career, bro. Not even a standing 8 count. Yo, Naoya Inoue dust that man off, bro. I think he dropped him like 4 times in the fight. It was brutal. Every time he touched him, boop, a man that been hit by some of the best. Nonito Donaire got one of the best left hooks in the business. In the game, bro. He was knocking everybody out with that. Yo, Antinian, boop. Yo, Donaire, it was nasty with the, as so much in fact that Naoya Inoue copies Nonito Donaire's check hook. And publicly, he said it. There's an interview with the Naoya Inoue says, my left check hook, I got it from Nonito Donaire. You know the timing on it? When he's engaging? He said that timing that he has and the form and the weight, pop! He said he got it from him. Bro, listen, Naoya is destroying these dudes. So, and then I'm sitting there and I'm saying, Nick Ball, bro, you in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble, Nick Ball. But to be perfectly honest with you, The biggest fight to be made is Junto. You got to wait for him to come up. It was rumored that he's coming to the 122. He couldn't get none of the champions in to fight with him. What was that? I was reading an article. Let's see here. Okay, Junto Nakatani, a rising star in a golden age of Japan's boxing, is demanded to knock out Inoue. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. One is known as the Monster and the other is known as Big Bang. The bout between champions boxers Naoya Inoue 30 and 27 and Junto Nakatani's 31 and 24 is is already being billed as Japan's fight of the century. Yeah. And the date hasn't even been set. That's what the article says. Japan's boxing, and this is a nation that has produced its share of Hall of Famers. For a point, last year, all four divisions bantamweight champions were Japanese. The Ringside Magazine and the top pound for pound ranking, yes, they were. They had three Japanese fighting, including Naoya Inoue and Nakatani in the pound for pound at one time. Yeah, and then they had that other kid, what's his name? Like Kid Amazing or something. That Amazing Boy or something like that. He's that lower weight division dude that won like 4 WBO titles in 4 weight divisions, where he was moving up all the way from like the lowest one, the Amazing Boy or something. I think he was on the pound for pound list too at one time. And Japan had 3 fighters on the pound for pound list at one time. Yeah, it was crazy. Naoya Inoue is out there on their side, F what ESPN is saying. That's their pound for pound list. But probably the rest of the side of that side of the world considers him, like they say, Naoya Inoue is the best pound for pound fighter in the world. And I have to agree with that. I have to agree when sometimes, what way do you want to go in this argument? What way? You want to go statistics? He got you. You want to go divisions? He got you. You want to go belts? He got you. Which way you want to go? Because in every way, he's going to beat your guy. Activity, he got you. Which way you want to go? There is nothing, and I mean nothing, no other boxer currently is doing better. Nobody. There's one fighter that's daring to be great. He hasn't accomplished it yet, but the one and only Terrence Crawford, Bud Crawford. Oh, yeah. Bud Crawford pulls that shit off. I'm sorry, Naoya. I am sorry. But 3 division, all 4 belts, there's nothing to talk about. Unless you do some shit like that, brother, yes, you will have done some remarkable shit. And you're going to beat Terrence in several other different, achievements. And Terrence is going to have his own, because remember, Naoya, he got there first. Terrence, he could definitely like smear that. You both did it, but who was the first guy? Bingo. So, you know what I mean? So, okay, you both did it, right? Rightfully so. But we can't wish upon a star. We can't do that. We can't put the cart before the horse. Terrence ain't did that shit. I'm talking about, and we got to keep it fair, because everything I'm talking about, Naoya Inoue has done. So I can't bring some fantasy shit against some real shit. See what I'm saying? If we're talking real stuff, then leave that fantasy stuff over there until you do it. He might be working towards that, preparing himself to fight, but he ain't did it, Terrence. But I hope he does. I wish him the best of luck. You know what I'm saying? That's some shit right there. But anyway, so where was I? Both Inoue has at least one fight before their dream matchup, but no one is expecting either of them to lose. That's that's the way boxing works. Inoue has a story, and I have a story. When this story clashes, people are moved and gain courage. That's where it is fun, Nakatani said in an interview. Okay. At Assassin's Press at TMT Boxing Gym, Southwest Tokyo. For me, boxing is what you show in the ring, all that we work for and build every day. It's a piece, it's a place where we express the life you have in living, said Nakatoni. Nakatoni smiles often, excluding kindness of early this year, Inoue, the first Japanese fighter to be number one on the pound for pound ranking, which exclusively boxers take their weight and size into account. Defending his super bantamweight title against Roman Cardenas at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. Naoya giving his fans a fight by getting knocked down in the second round, but coming back to soundly stop the fighter in the eighth. It was Naoya's second fight in Las Vegas, with the the, the bout coming 4 years ago in a seventh round knockout against Australians Jason Maloney. Naoya, one of the only three male boxers in a four belt era to unify at two separate weight divisions, is scheduled for a September showdown in Tokyo against Marlon Akhmadalija of Uzbekistan. So, um, yeah, there's a lot here in the article. I'm kind of going through it, and when they show about big, like ticket sales and all that other shit, sometimes I don't like when they bring all that stupid shit up. This guy don't sell and this and that. What are we doing anymore, guys? Are we trying to shit on these guys and their ticket sales, or are we trying to talk up a fight? Are we even satisfied anymore watching boxing? With all this stuff that's been put in your head. I want to see the best, the best, the best. Well, damn it, I just want to see two guys fight sometimes. And yes, I do want the best fights, because that's when the fight builds, like this one right here. And Junto just recently, he sold like 10,000 plus tickets. It was reported. So he's a big thing. He's not as big as Naoya Inoue with that Tokyo Arena. I think it was like 54,000 plus. He almost capped out that building. It was crazy. So, and the fact that it has never been open for another boxing match, and he was able to do that. Naoya Inoue was able to do that. He's a true rock star out out there in Japan. Yo, bro, he's a rock star out there. He's their hero. He's their hero. They're gonna build statues after that man. You better believe it. They're gonna name streets after him. You know, um, and when it's all said and done, I'm curious to see how he ends his career. Definitely. What's up, guys? I don't think Crypto Robin says, I don't think he's going to beat Saul Canelo. Listen, nobody thinks he's going to beat him, to be honest. Nobody. There isn't a person on this planet that truly believes Terrence Crawford is going to beat Saul Canelo Alvarez. What we're doing is we're hoping and we're believing in the fact that if anybody can do it in today's era right now, not before, not Mayweather, not Demetrius Bivol, it's Terrence's time. And out of all his opponents of late, this is intriguing because Terrence brings something to the table. Okay? And he even got us kind of doubting it. Wait a minute, maybe he can do it. And just for that split second, that the boxing world got you right there. Ha! Got him. Got him. But in reality, this is almost a mission impossible. And Terrence Crawford is taking on said mission. Can he pull it off? Can he? Or is he going to get stopped by iron chin, hard punching Saul Canelo Alvarez? And as we all know, Canelo don't fight no fight of late that he can't win. When's the last fight that somebody went into a Canelo Alvarez fight that you had the other guy? I'll wait. When's the last Saul Canelo Alvarez fight you legitimately was looking up? He's gonna lose this fight. Canelo done fucked up. Besides Bivol and not in the 168 division. I'm not talking about Bivol up there. When's the last time at 168 for all those belts? See, the Bivol fight, they weren't his belts. He could have took a risk. But his crown, Saul's crown, to risk the crown, that's what I'm talking about. 168 weight division. When's the last fight you seen him take that oddsmaker had him? Oh shit, Saul, pack it up. You're done. Not even in the Terrence. He's favored. The people that pick his fights, the matchmakers, they do the numbers. And the numbers say, Saul, you're expected to win. Yep. And Saul takes that fight. Saul has the right to do this in a way because when do we say in boxing, you gave us enough blood? How many fights do you need to have underneath your belt? How many divisions do you got to climb? How many championships do you have to win for you at the tail end say, yo, I'm going to fight these kind of like gimme fights here? I'm not going to say gimme fights, but because everybody's a pro, right? But I'm going to fight these guys that I know I can beat. And you as my fans, ride out my career with me. I'm going to take these fights. I'm not fighting that young lion coming up. No, I'm going to fight him. You know, it'll be exciting. Me and him, we had probably some bad blood in the past. He's in my era, my time, around my age. I'm going to stick to fighting those guys. Not the new hotness. Not the new hotness, right? So, boom. See, Terrence Crawford didn't fight the new hotness. He didn't fight Jerron Boots Ennis. He let him keep that belt. He didn't fight against the new hotness. He kept going that way, right? Okay. And when do we say that Saul has done enough? 40 fights? 2 weight divisions? 3 weight divisions? 50 fights. It's 50 fights enough for him to ride out the rest of his career? How about 60? 60 fights. Can Saul finally not have to fight David the Monster Benavidez? Or is David the Monster Benavidez just passed or missed the Saul train? And Saul didn't want that. And he didn't want to fight the hotness, right? He didn't want none of that shit. So neither did Terrence and neither did Saul. They said, let's fight each other. We're in our era. We might not be the same age or whatever, but we came up in the same time. I ain't going to fight the new hotness. I'm going to fight you. That's what separates Naoya Inoue from the rest of these guys. He ain't shying away from the new hotness. He's saying, new hotness, come get some. You ain't the new hotness. I was always the king, and I will always be the king. Come get some. That's the difference between Naoya Inoue and the rest of these other guys. That on his way out, he ain't, no. There will not be any speculation or any doubt that the new hotness that came in, I was avoiding him. Jerron Boots Ennis can always say, they took your belt from me, gave it to me, and you didn't fight me for your own belt. Right? So there'll be people out there that'll believe that shit. Naoya Inoue is going to put all that shit to rest. He's going to grab Junto Nakatani on his way out of his career, and he's going to pack that boy up. He's going to pack him up and show Japan he's always been that dude. He always will be that dude. And even on the way out, he is still king. Boy, I got to give it to that man. And if he takes the other road, and moves up to 126, more hotness, right? 126 is 5 weight divisions. He's fighting an undefeated champion, right? And he beat on his way out. So, how much blood do you have to give? Apparently, for some fight fans, it's never enough. For the ones that been with you throughout your entire career and know what you've gone through, they're the ones that'll be like, yo, Saul, gracefully take these fights, bow your way out, right off into the sunset. Because those are the fans that have been rocking with Saul from the beginning. And fans like me, I've been rocking with Naoya and Inoue since the beginning. Well, not the whole beginning, but somewhere around the World Series of Boxing. And I tell you what, you know, if Terrence doesn't pull this off, Naoya Inoue stands to beat him in every category. Fuck. Shit, Terrence. I wish Terrence Crawford never took this fight, man. I wish he never took this fight, bro. He's going to take Terrence Crawford's O. He ain't going to retire undefeated. And that's going to suck because it's going to affect him in the argument when Naoya Inoue retires. If he pulls it off undefeated, Saul is defeated. You know? The only other person is Usyk, and Usyk can't beat Naoya Inoue. He can't even beat Terrence Crawford in a real argument. I mean, for publicity and for the marketing, for the sport of boxing, the boxing gods are told to tell you this. They're told to tell you that Usyk is the best. And they're going to dress up his stories, show you his highlights, and they're going to keep pushing that. You're going to, by watching, oh, he must be the best because they're saying it, right? So that's what the boxing world, because the heavyweight champion division, that's a hurting division. They need all the help they can. And Moses Montana, yo, he's starting to come up. He's not ready. He ain't ready for Usyk. But, but Usyk can't beat in reality, in real, like, move the smoke screen and all the fucking Nike fucking emblems and the money they trying to make off Usyk because of the war. If you take all that distraction out the way and you see Usyk for who he really is, he can't beat Terrence Crawford's accomplishments. He's only got 2 divisions. Terrence Crawford is a 4-division world champion. He's gonna beat Usyk with that alone. You see what I'm saying? So, and then, I mean, Usyk's never defended none of the fucking belts neither, bro. His last, he just unified against Dubois. He got the belt back. But he's never successfully defended all 4 belts. He can't beat Terrence Crawford's accolades. So, if Terrence was to fall to Saul, that fucks everything up. Now Naoya Inoue is definitely going down as the greatest fighter of our era. And let me remind you how far back Naoya Inoue comes. So you can't say, oh, Naoya Inoue wasn't in Terrence Crawford's era. Bullshit. Remember, Naoya Inoue fought on HBO. Yeah, on HBO. When's the last time you saw an HBO fight? Naoya Inoue has fought on HBO, bro. He's been around forever. Yeah. So don't even say that. Oh, Terrence and Naoya Inoue, they wanted to say bullshit. He came up with all of them. Is that people didn't know who he was because he was in the lower weight division. Naoya Inoue had to do all this shit, make that wave, bro. He had to make so much noise that people were like, who the fuck are these people talking about? And here comes Naoya Inoue up the ranking, just knocking everybody out. Boom, you out the way. Boom, get out the way. Boom, give me that belt. Boom, let's go. Yo, and he's rocking everybody. And then, like, I got to acknowledge this guy's greatness, bro. I have to. I have never in my life witnessed anything like this. Not no Sugar Ray, not no Floyd Mayweather, not no Ali, no Mike Tyson, no Marvelous Hagler, no Roberto Duran. I mean, none of them. No fighter in history has done shit like this. It's fucking crazy. The only fighter, legitimately, that is like right there with him, right? They're like this. I think Naoya passed him, of course. Yeah, it's Terrence Crawford. That's it. Because Terrence had an 11-fight knockout streak before he came in with Israel in world title fights. Naoya has 11. You see what I'm saying? Now Naoya has more. I think Terrence Crawford got like 20. I think it was 22, 23 consecutive world title fights. Some shit like that. Since the 135, he was a champion. And he fought for the champ, and he went on a run. I think it was a little less. I got to look it up, right? But Terrence did the 2 division shit. So Terrence Crawford, technically, is the only fighter that can take this all away from Naoya Inoue. He could take it all away. I mean, he's not going to take it away from him as far as that side of the world. When we're just talking Japan, nah, Naoya Inoue is viewed as that's him. Mama, there goes that man, that's him. So Terrence can't ever take that away from him. But if Terrence beats Saul, fuck, kid. What can you say? 3 divisions, all 4 belts. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Are you like really like? What are you gonna put against that? What are you gonna put against that? That's like when the people argue the Vince Lombardi Trophy in football, right, guys? Right? What's the best Vince Lombardi Trophy in history, right? On top of the deep freezer. What's the best game ever played in the Super Bowl? Hands down, that Atlanta game against New England Patriots, where Tom Brady came back 28 points in the 4th quarter. There's no Super Bowl better than that. That is the strongest Vince Lombardi Trophy. When you talk about Super Bowls, all the Super Bowls that were played, that's got to be the greatest Super Bowl and the greatest comeback and the first overtime game, all wrapped in one game. There's no Super Bowl like that. That's a strong trophy. You understand? So when we're talking about boxing, how strong are your belts? How strong are your belts? Terrence Crawford's belts weren't that strong. Those things, remember? Those were Arrow's achievements. One plaque was off on the IBF when they fought, but the awards that Errol Spence Jr. had, that was Errol Spence Jr.'s awards and accolades on those belts. Terrence Crawford fought him for 3 belts, but he didn't put any accolades on none of them belts. That's the only problem. The only belt Terrence Crawford built, and I can honestly say, is the WBO. He had a gold WBO. Now, that gold WBO Terrence Crawford had, that's valuable. That's a strong belt. The gold one that he had, the WBO, because he built that belt. Yeah, that I can say that. Yes. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He built that WBO. You have, in order to turn that gold, you got to defend that shit 5 times, bro. That's not easy. So, yeah, he had that belt. But the other belts, he didn't put no accolades on them. Yo, those fucking belts Naoya Inoue has, God, Jesus Christ. Them shits look like Saul's belts, don't they? Yo, when Saul comes out, that's why he looks like a fucking king, bro. Saul. All the time, bro. The WBC's making them belts and shit. Yo, when they put I'll be like this in awe. Bro, them belts do something for me, man. Because it's that message that you're sending out, you are the best fighter in the world in your division, but you are the best. Yo, and every time they show Saul with that Mexican fucking robe and all them belts, and they just putting belts on him, bro, se me para, bro. Bro, I can't get enough of that shit. Man, I'll be like, that's boxing fucking, bro. You are the man, bro. When you walk into the room, oh my God, bro. It's fucking, Saul's belts are amazing, bro. When you read them, they're fucking amazing. And then Naoya Inoue's belts are just amazing. They're fucking amazing, bro. You see all the other guys, and their plaques are empty. Their belts don't got no history. They don't get elevated to a super. The belt doesn't change slightly. You know how like the regular belt, that's the regular WBA, right? And the super, Gervonta Davis got it. He got the big lions. He got the huge lions on the side. Now that's a big belt, right? So when you see Inoue's belts and shit and Saul's, man, that's fucking amazing, bro, because I understand the value in that. I understand the value of their belts. I don't just view them as any other normal, ordinary belt. Like a guy that, like Xander just won that belt, the WBO. I don't compare Xander's belt to fucking Terrence Crawford's WBO belt. No. Hell no. Hell no. There's no history on Xander's belt. That's a belt, bro. And that's what impresses me. That's what impresses me, bro. Fucking that shit right there is not easy to do, bro. And I respect those kind of champions, bro. When I see shit like that, I just get overwhelmed. I'm just like, wow, bro. I would, that's shit I dream of reaching a pinnacle in boxing like that. Shit, bro. I know what that means. Yeah. So, Naoya Inoue's belts are strong, bro. They strong, man. Saul's belts are amazing, though. You gotta admit. Those fucking belts, they be making them. The WBC be tricking out a belt every freaking event to show their gratitude for him representing for the WBC. That those are commemorative trophy belts to commemorate the night, the event. When him and Terrence Crawford fight, they're probably going to make a commemorative belt for that night. Same thing they did for Navarrete versus what's his name? Valdez. They made a belt, the WBC. Same thing they did for Tank Davis, the Freedom Belt. And Tank Davis doesn't even own a WBC world title. That's how powerful they are. They can just jump in everybody's event. It's crazy. So who stops him? Lucky upset. IB what? Chubbed up. Yeah. You see it's on what? Yeah. Yo, see, Andre Ward started that little campaign where if I put the belt on the shelf, it's going to fade. It's going to do this. It's going to do that, right? It's brilliant, as brilliant as a boxing commentator as Andre Ward is. The shit he sees in the ring before it happens, fucking remarkable. His eye for viewing boxing and Andre Ward, bro, top notch shit. when I hear him talk sometimes, I try to zone out everybody else, but sometimes they be rocking with him. But Andre Ward, he'll take one of the sides, and when Tim Bradley's fucking with him, that's a good duo, right? But Tim he be on some shit. But I like Tim Bradley a lot, and Tim knows his shit. Tim knows what's gonna happen too as well. But Andre Ward, very good. But when Andre Ward talked about those belts like that, what for as smart of a man that he is, I can't believe he can't understand what that did for him in his career. I can't believe Andre Ward, just because he paid 3% to titles, that he doesn't know where his 3% goes. That over 3%, he's gonna, or 13%, he's gonna argue about that these belts ain't shit. And he retired undefeated. So if you hear a guy like that talking about the belts, then the belts must not be anything, right? And Andre Ward can't be more wrong in his career. And that's probably, and I have to say this and harshly, that's probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard him say. That the belts don't matter. That they sit on a shelf and the paint fades or what. No. What matters is the night you won the belt and the history behind those fights. What it took you to get that. If the belts didn't matter, why didn't you just go your career without fighting for belts and see if you would be the man you are today? If the belts don't matter, take away Andre Ward's all his belts and just put him to fight those guys. You think he's respected as an undefeated champion? Hell no. Take away those belts. The ones that he talk about that fade on the shelf. Mofo, those belts made you. And they gave you the job you have today. They also put you in the position where you are talked about who you are. And it also made your O valuable. Because without those belts, had you retired undefeated with never achieving a world title, you think that O would be valuable? Tell me Andre Ward would have won his entire career without winning a belt and no weight division, but he did retire undefeated. Go. Who is he? Nobody. Brother, we're going to say you fought nobody. You didn't fight no world champion. You ain't never fought for a belt. You don't in no divisions. So how the hell is Andre Ward going to come out and say that those belts ain't shit when those belts made him? For as intelligent as he is, he can't see that. And I find that alarming. Maybe he did take a lot of punches to the head. He can't connect the dots. And I'm looking at Andre Ward like, wow, Andre, you really just said that? You really just said that? For as intelligent as that man is, for the eye that he has for the sport, I can't believe it. The way he talks about those belts. Brother Andre Ward, you keep campaigning about these belts, I'm going to push back some more against you too. Because I view these belts sacred. That's our Vince Lombardi trophy. That's like going to the NBA and saying that the fucking NBA trophy is shit. That the one that Michael Jordan held, I don't need that shit. I'm better than Michael. You don't need the NBA championship trophy and that it's shit? Well, that's what you're saying about my belts. You're saying that the belts ain't shit. That's what I think about you and your opinion. You're not going to convince me that I'm going to get in a sport and say F the biggest award. No, kids, don't become a champion. That it's nothing to be a champion in the sport you're giving your life to. Because those belts don't matter. Bro, I'm tired of that shit, bro. Bro, the people that believe that shit, well said from a loser. Well said from a person that doesn't want to have the heart to go after a title. Well said. Did that make Keyshawn Davis look any tougher when he said, "Why would I want to fight you to pay more sanctioning fee?" You sound like you've been listening to Andre Ward. Now that you got no belt, Keyshawn Davis, and you did once say what? Belts don't matter. How are you doing without a belt right now? I'll wait. Would your life be better if you had the belt? Where's your next fight? Are you headlining? Or did you go back to obscurity? Let me see how good you are without a belt. Let me see how many tickets you sell. Belts don't matter. Yeah, you can take that bullshit and go. OC the boss, where you at? You don't even, yes, he does. Frontline believe that shit, OC. You going night-night. Sleep. Hey, yo, thank you, OC the boss, for hopping on the show. You know what I'm saying? Showing the support. I see who you watching. You know what I'm saying? Brother, you inspire me, OC. You inspire me. You and a lot of other guys before me, right? That us older guys showing these young boys we can still do this shit. You know what I mean? We might look a little funny or whatever, but real boxing fans will know what we're doing. And the men our age would understand that shit's not easy. What we're doing is not easy. It's not, OC. Let me tell you sometime, I'll be on the point of wanting to quit every fucking day, bro. But every day I find a way to strive to train more. I wish I had a picture of you. I put it up on my wall. I'm like, you gonna get it. All right? Every day I'm looking at you. And the OC's eyes be following me around the room and shit. And it freaked me out. Give me one of those where the eyes follow you. You know what I'm saying? I'll jump up and start doing push-ups for no reason. I see you looking at me, OC. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen. What we're doing is not easy, man. What we're doing is not easy. And I think that I think that we're inspiring other men. You know, I just saw like in the Boxing Voice, they were saying that more masters were coming and OC, look what you started. You know what I'm saying? You got us coming out. I hope I inspire a couple other people, no matter what we look like, no matter what we move, how funny, awkward our movement is, because we ain't young pups. So don't be thinking we're going to look like fucking lightning. You know what I mean? But we're out there competing. We're living our dreams because not all of us had the opportunity and could recognize the pitfalls in life. You know, I was a pretty decent boxer of my own, but I fell through life's pitfalls and I became a victim of my own circumstance. So now in my late 50s, well, not late 50, I'm 51. In my 50s, my life is more settled. I'm in a situation where I can focus on my training. You know, coming from a broken home, not knowing if your fucking front door got kicked in by authorities or DSS is coming around, and if you're even going to have an apartment, you know, or you're on the move with your stuff to a family member's house or something. As a kid, I didn't have anything stable. And real young, I had to go out and get mine. Like at 15 years, well, at 13 years old, I moved out my house. At 13, I just left the house. I didn't move out, I just left. I just never went back at 13. And like it was just city to city, shit like that, bro. It got bad. It got bad. Trust me, it got bad. I never talk about my life because that's my past. That's my past story. You know what I'm saying? I survived it. Why keep bringing it up? I know what the fuck happened. I was there, right? My past is only a story. That's it. I'm a survivor of my life. You know what I'm saying? And I'm here now. And I'm reinventing myself as a man, you know, and I'm enjoying myself. I got my little pocket. I got hit 4,000 subscribers. I'm psyched. You know what I mean? Thank you for that, guys. Um, and now I'm about to fight again. I'm about to fight OC the boss, and I think that OC the boss, man, he feels the same way. I don't know his story, but no story is better than anybody. I view him as my equal. I view OC the boss as my equal, and we just men that we got that fighter, that little crazy fighter, and we don't want to go out and do anything wrong because we got children to raise here, so we don't want to go out and do anything crazy. But you mean you're gonna let me fight? You know what I'm saying? All I gotta do is convince this doctor to sign off on that piece of paper, and we good, right? So listen, um, you know, a lot of us walk different paths in life. We have our own paths. You know, choose yours. Choose yours. Choose a side. Because if you keep walking through life chaotically, that's what you're going to build, chaos. You're never going to have stability. You're never going to feel like you're home. Stop running. That's my best advice. Once I stopped running in life, uh, I started living life. And now that I am living life, um, these are my challenges. I guess we get older in life. Some people want to jump off a bridge. Some people want to jump out of a plane. You know what I'm saying? Shit. I want to box. That's my thing. So yeah. Okay, you are OC? Yes, brother. Stay tuned. November 8th, OC the boss. Yo, you my man, brother. You my brother from another mother. But we gotta fight. You know how brothers fight. Then you know what I'm saying? We go out and we make up and we have a great night. You know what I'm saying? Brothers fight all the time. But unfortunately, I'm gonna have to be the older brother and whoop that ass. That's right, I said it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna bust OC that boss's ass on November 8th. Y'all come out and check us out. If you don't think it's gonna happen, I'm about to put hands on this man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta come out and watch me. You know what I'm saying? That's in Atlanta, November 8th. If you want any more details to it, you can go to the TBV website. They have the address, they have ticket sales. I think they put all that out. All we have to do is have ourselves a little fight. You know what I'm saying? Yo, OC the boss with the donation. Yep. The guy I'm going to fight donated $5. You guys are sitting here not donated to the channel? What you mean? Come on, people. My sound effects are not working right now. There we go. Shouts out to OC the boss, being a real one. There you go, brother. Thank you. Thank you. It's all love. It's all love, champ. Yes, you know it. We just got to build this fight. We just got to build it. They got to come out. OC, me and you, we going to steal the night. We the fucking fight on that card. You better believe it. Round one sports talk. I got shit popping over here. You got shit popping over there on TBV. Everybody knows you from Border Wars. Bro, they're going to come out to see us. They're going to come out to see us. I guarantee it. We going to sell that motherfucker out. Yep. And listen, you never know, bro. We could have a fucking fight of the decade, right? So, fight fans, love the spirit, my guy. Yes, absolutely. Salute to OC. Listen, fight fans. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. This has been an amazing episode. I'm gonna cut this one here. I've already gone live, I think, 3 times today. Right? Where am I getting all this energy from? Like, what the fuck? And I didn't take no pre-workout today. Nah, I just took that stuff that creatine shit. I took that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting excited. You know what I'm saying? And I just got like something to do. I don't know. I don't know. It's really like motivating me, man. I'm nervous. I can't lie. I'm nervous and everything, but that nervous soon turns into energy. And I'm just like, fuck it, let's go. You know, you know what I mean? So listen, fight fans, love yourselves, keep your families close, keep an eye on your children, and we'll be. I'll see you on the next one. You guys are the best. Peace.